Welcome to the Digital Maddy Show. This is a platform where I share my knowledge on video creation, digital marketing, chatbot marketing, and how to grow your business through video making. I also invite many influencers and digital marketers on our show and ask amazing questions to extract their secrets of business. Let's get started with your host. Hi, my name is Mithyl and I'm a YouTube and video creation coach, and I help aspiring video influencers to create and monetize their content through video making. Today we have an amazing guest on our show. She is an high ticket closing person, full of energy. She's already into our studio. Let's welcome her. So let's welcome her. Her name is Jane Baker. Let me introduce her. She is a high ticket sales expert and an international best-selling author. She has over a decade of experience and specializes in helping business owners leverage their time, supercharge their sales, and unlock their limitless life by selling high ticket. So welcome, Jane, onto our show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Great. So Jane, can you share one of your favorite quote that keeps you motivated on a daily basis?
So one of the things I like to do to keep myself motivated on a daily basis is to have a simple but clear sort of structure to my day. So I'm a big fan of batching my time, so I don't kind of do everything all over the place. So I have my sales calls at one section, I have my client calls in another, and then I have sort of days reserved for things such as interviews such as this.
Awesome. So Jane, can you share your backstory so that all people know more about you?
Sure. So I grew up in a small town in South Wales, the exact same town that Tom Jones is from. So there's two awesome people that come from there. I grew up in a fairly regular sort of household, although my father was an alcoholic. Nothing was ever good enough for my father. So when I became a teenager, I rebelled quite a bit. And so I went from being a straight A student to failing every single class. And I actually eventually got kicked out of school at the age of 15. When I left school without any qualifications, I went to work in a call center for 6 weeks. And then I was kindly let go because I told the managers they were wrong. So that ended my employment history. At 18, I fell pregnant, but sadly, she was stillborn at 32 weeks. And that kind of started my journey into where I am now. So I woke up one morning when I was 19 and I decided that I would randomly start a business. And I did. By the time I was 21, it was a successful multiple seven-figure business. But in 2013, I had come to the point where I really disliked my life. I disliked the business. And so I burnt it all to the ground and I started it again. This time really focusing on freedom and my version of success, not what the world was telling me success looked like. And so I started my coaching business and that's where I am today. So from there, I won countless awards. I was listed as a top entrepreneur in the UK. I moved my family from the UK to live in Lanzarote in the Canary Islands. As a family, we take a minimum of 10 holidays per year. I wrote a book that was published in January and became an international bestseller in the UK, the USA, and Canada.
First of all, congratulations for all the accolades that you have, and also for showing the spirit that you never gave up and you kept fighting as a fighter, and you are what you are right now. So congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Most
Thank
welcome.
you.
So yes, in order to build an empire, and it takes some time, but eventually I think with the right mindset you were able to do it in the much better way, and you had a better why. That's your daughter.
Yeah, so I built my success pretty quickly compared to a lot of people, but I put that down to the fact that I was also willing to look outside of the box. So whereas most people in the industry, which was your sort of just your average wedding or your average event, I took a slightly different approach at that time, and I took the outside of the bubble, and I actually went for large contracts and higher ticket sort of packages and things, which enabled me to grow in a quicker way than most people in my industry did.
Awesome. So, Jane, can you share some idea on what is high ticket selling?
So high ticket selling is basically when you take a service, a product, or whatever it is that you basically do as your business as such, and you package it in a way that makes it truly really valuable to whoever it is that you're selling to. So instead of charging per hour, you would charge sort of 5,000 to 10,000 for the package, or even higher. So it's basically just about taking what it is that you already do and package it in a way that makes it far more valuable to the individual that you're looking to work with, which obviously then means that you can kind of increase your income whilst also unlocking more time freedom in your business, because of course you don't need to work as much to get the same type of return.
Cool. So can anyone sell high ticket?
Yes. So generally speaking, it's all about how you position something. So the key to high ticket selling is taking something you already do and just position it in a way that means that it's more valuable to whoever you're selling it to. I mean, I've worked with people in all sorts of different industries. So I've worked with hairdressers, I've worked with coaches, your general sort of experts, virtual assistants. It's really possible to do it for any industry if you're willing to look outside of the box. And also sometimes you've got to leverage other businesses and collaborations to create those high ticket packages. But generally speaking, yes, it's possible for anybody who's willing to look at things a little bit differently.
Yeah. So yes, seems to look very lucrative. But then how have you been able to leverage high ticket by this entire thing?
So obviously in my first business, I was able to leverage high ticket to enable me to grow a lot quicker. So for example, I sold my 6-figure package within 3 months of opening my first business. That obviously enabled me to grow pretty quickly. At the time when I started it, I didn't have any money, any plan or anything. So obviously the initial thing for me was to be able to bring in those initial sort of funds. In my coaching business, I took a slightly different approach with it. So for me, it wasn't so much about being able to make money, because I knew that was something that I could do and I could do in any sort of niche and industry. For me, it was more important about creating something that had the limitless life that I was looking for, which for me was travel. So when I first started my coaching business with the high ticket model, I made sure that my high ticket offers included traveling. So I was able to be paid to travel the world whilst working with these people. So for me, it was about taking the high ticket selling concept and putting it into a way that connected with the life that I truly wanted to live. Initially, it was just to get quick sales and something that was going to enable me to grow quickly. But as I sort of grew and developed, then it turned into more sort of unlocking the life I desired versus sort of just money, right?
Wow, it looks awesome. So if I have to start, let's take an example. If I have to start with high ticket sales and everything, so what do I need to do to start with?
Generally speaking, it is about being quite niche. So one of the things with high ticket selling is kind of thinking about it in the same way that we would see your high sort of designers or your expensive cars. Obviously, they're not marketed the same as the mass kind of produced ones. And so that's the same kind of concept you have to take forward into a high ticket platform, in the sense of if you try to be for everybody, you're obviously not going to make those sales in a high ticket way. It is about being niche. It is about being that more sort of luxury side of things. And so the first thing you need to do is to be really specific with who it is that you're working with. That's also really important for the online space anyway. The online space tends to be pretty noisy. And so if you want to be sort of seen and paid, you've got to cut through that noise. So the first thing is to be really niche. The second thing is to make sure that you are selling what that thing actually enables someone to achieve change or get. So it's not about the coaching, or it's not about the service that you provide. It is about what that thing enables someone to change in their life. You sell where the plane is going versus the plane itself. So that's the second thing. And then it's really about understanding why people buy and why your ideal clients buy, and then creating that system that enables you to bring the right people in, but also creating the environment where you make those sales where it feels like it's really easy, and they kind of sell themselves into it before they've even got into a conversation with you. So it's the combination of all those things, but ultimately it's keeping it really simple, and putting the focus on selling what people want that's really valuable to them, and taking them into a place where they can experience what working with you would potentially be like, which obviously then when it comes to sales conversions is one of the most crucial things when we're selling high ticket, is that we can connect people from an emotional point.
Jane, you just shared an awesome value. It's like a value bomb. Almost you gave all the secrets of what you have done till now. So thank you so much for that. So why do you believe it's a good starting point for those just starting in the online space now?
I tend to see it as the better starting point for people because the numbers are far more manageable, and also you have all the information that you need to start making those sales. So when I first came into the online space as a coach, one of the mistakes I sort of felt I made was I tried to go down the route of the low ticket courses with the funnels and the freebies and the sales pages, but I with in order to convert them en masse through sales pages or through funnels or for any of those things. And it's something that I see repeated with people that come to work with me and come into my audience, is that they've tried all of that and they just can't seem to get it to work. And also the numbers involved are a lot higher. So obviously if we're selling low ticket, to get to the initial sort of 10K months, which is where I take my clients to initially, they have to sell a lot. And that also means that they have to have a lot of traffic going to their pages and their funnels in the first place. And for a lot of people who don't have the budget and don't have the audience, that's pretty a massive mountain for them to climb. And so I tend to like to suggest that people use high ticket selling because you can supercharge those results a lot quicker. So you don't need a website, you don't need those funnels, you don't need the freebie. And then obviously once you've made those initial sales, you also have the information that you need to be able to go and create those sales pages and those low ticket courses and the funnels that convert people in a larger way. And obviously also you would have the funds that would mean that you could invest in paid marketing that would drive people there. But essentially I find that it's a more accessible route for people that are looking for quicker growth. Obviously, if you're looking for that longer term, sort of willing to sort of wait sort of 12 months before you reach those bigger months, then the low ticket model can work for you. But if you're looking to supercharge it a little bit and make sure that when you do go to the low ticket, you do get those sales straight away, then I tend to prefer flipping it and using the high ticket to be able to scale into low ticket versus low ticket to scale into high ticket.
So basically high ticket acts like a catalyst to boost your business initial stage, and then you can do all the things that you want because you have the funds to do it. Am I right?
Yeah, so obviously some people who sell high ticket decide the low ticket is just never for them. It's more aligned with what it is that they want to do. I think a lot of people do actually like being sort of involved working with people, and so it's a model that works for them. But if you are somebody that wants to sell low ticket initially, then high ticket first gives you all the information you need. You know why people buy, you know what it is that people want the most. You know what it is that you would need to give them and take them through in funnels and on sales pages to actually be able to convert people. And of course you'd have the funds to actually invest to bring in the traffic that you need, like volume of it, to be able to make those sales.
Absolutely. So what's the most important key to successful selling high ticket, Jane?
The most important key would be focusing on the value. So it comes back to making sure that you are selling the actual want versus selling the thing itself. When people sell high ticket, they sort of make the mistake that they've got to sort of justify the price to someone by saying that you're going to get everything and the kitchen sink in this package. But actually when we do that, it takes away from the value. So instead of then making it something that somebody really wants, we actually turn it into something that people think, I don't really think I need that, or you overwhelm them with too much information. So less is more when selling high ticket. So you want to take the less is more approach, where you want to make sure that they can clearly see the value, and the value for 99.9% of people is what they're going to actually get out of this, whatever it is that you are selling them. So it is really about the positioning. Positioning is by far the biggest key in selling high ticket. If your positioning isn't right, you're going to struggle to sell.
Yes, I totally resonate and agree with what you are trying to say over here. So, Jane, see, everyone is trying to sell something in the online space right now, whether it's a low ticket or a high ticket. So, what's the difference between selling low and high?
I mean, the only difference is the belief that you have around the price. So it's just numbers at the end of the day. And I think most people have the belief that it's easier to sell low ticket. Actually, I've always had the belief that it's easier to sell high ticket. Generally speaking, because you're selling in a much more sort of customized way, and also you're dealing with a lot of lower numbers, so the conversions are far easier to achieve. But generally speaking, it does come down to the belief. The figures are exactly the same, and the way that you sell it is also exactly the same. It doesn't really matter whether you're selling something at $90 or $90,000. The approach is exactly the same, and it's all just numbers. The biggest reason why people don't make sales is because they believe they can't. So the difference is the amount of numbers that are attached to the price. Ultimately, you would sell in the same way that you sell anything, which is let people know that you have something they want and show them that they can get it from you. Ultimately, is the sort of key to selling at any level.
So ultimately, it's basically mindset with the number. So if the number and the mindset is aligned, I think it's very convenient for us to sell high tickets then.
Yes. So obviously, if you believe that you can't, then you won't, right? So just like there's people out there that actually find selling in low ticket really difficult, and they'll be telling themselves that it's easier to sell high ticket than it is low ticket. And that for them is a belief, just as much as it's a belief for someone that you can sell low, but you can't sell high. Generally speaking, obviously the thing I like to kind of remind people is no matter what price you're selling something at, there's billions of people out there that are willing to pay it. It's just a case of you actually showing them that you have something that they want and that it's of value to them, because the money you desire already exists. The sale that you desire already exists. It's just about finding the right person who's willing to pay it and you actually giving the opportunity for them to buy.
Wow. So Jane, let me ask you one secret over here. So, and I'm sure everybody's now on the edge who's listening. Jane, can you share some quick tip on high ticket selling?
So the biggest tip would be the positioning of it, but also understanding who you would be if you were consistently selling high ticket. So obviously for a lot of people, the person they are now isn't the person who's consistently selling high ticket, and they may not be consistently selling at any level. And so what you tend to find happens is they sort of strangle any lead that comes their way, or they're not perhaps showing up in a way that they would if they were at the high ticket level. And so ultimately it's about asking the question of who you would be and then stepping into that person. Because if you were selling high ticket consistently right now, this very moment, you wouldn't be worrying about whether that person who's just sent you a Facebook message was going to buy or not, because you would know that I'm going to make a sale anyway. So for me, the biggest secret to anything tends to be stepping into the version of you who's already doing that. And that's stepping in on a mindset level, a belief level, an environment level, and also the energy that you come with it. So ultimately, it's who you would be if you were already selling at that level, and then effortlessly stepping into that space so that you then actually take the action that enables those results to happen in the first place.
Wow, Jane, awesome. This is like an awesome tip. And if people see, technically all people listen and learn, but only the people who are action takers or the one who execute what they have learned, I think they are the ones who actually convert this high ticket sell and they make money and make their dreams come true. So thank you so much, Jane, for sharing such awesome tip. So Jane, all the people who are listening to you right now, if they want to learn more about you and want to learn all the hacks, the tips, the tricks, and everything related to high ticket sales, is there a platform where they can connect with you?
Yes, so generally every single month I do free training inside of my free community, and we also do free challenges every quarter as well. So there's always something going on in there, and obviously also upon joining you also get access to all previous replays and all previous challenges that we've ever run. So there's lots of different things that go on in the group where we cover lots of different trainings from, how to actually get the sales, how to put things together, how to mindset wise. So over on Facebook, the Limitless Living Lounge is where we host all of the free trainings and the free challenges, and where I tend to hang out mostly.
Wow. So all the people who are listening right now and want to master the skill of high ticket sales, I think that's the place where you have to go. You can find the link in the description and just check it out and keep learning and making high sales. So thank you so much, Jane, for being on our show. So before we end this episode, would you like to say something to our viewers?
I would just say that no matter what it is that you are trying to achieve right now, everybody can get it. The fact that you can probably go and look online and find plenty of other people that have. The reason that other people have isn't a sort of reason that you can't. It is always a reason that you can as well. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, just keep going, keep doing it, and eventually you'll make it happen.
Cool. Awesome. So thank you so much, Jane, for taking time and sharing all the valuable information regarding high ticket sales. So it was our honor to be to have you on to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. I've loved sharing my information and tips, and it's been an absolute pleasure of mine.
Most welcome. So you are just listening to the Digital Maddy Show with your host Mithyl, and we have an awesome guest over here, Jane Baker, and she just shared all the information related to high ticket sales. So if you are watching this video on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and if you are listening to my podcast, subscribe to my podcast. Thank you so much, Jane, once again for being on this show and giving valuable information.
Thank you for having me.